I have to ask you these questions on the domestic front as well, because you spoke about 32,000 people and countering that, saying about a little over 3,000 have been killed in the protests. But the protests are important. How is the administration looking at the protests itself, the need for reform? Should there be reform?
I didn't say that more than 3,000 people were killed in protests.
Died.
No. They killed on a terrorist operation. I used the word terrorist operation. And let me to explain. Yes, we had protests. From 28th December to 7th January, for 10 days, we had legal protests in the streets, gatherings and demonstrations. And it was very well tolerated because it's the right of the people to express their protests in the streets, and that is mentioned in our constitution, is one of the principles of our constitution. The government was even engaged with the leaders of those protests. They invited to the cabinet. I was there myself. There was a dialogue how to resolve the problem, how to address their complaints, and nobody was killed on those 10 days. But on 8th of January, we faced with a completely new phenomenon. There some elements came into this protest among protesters and demonstrators with guns, and they started shooting at our police forces. And when police forces are shooted and killed, of course they have to react. And then we found out that there are instructions coming from outside. It's a very well planned. Outside where? From Israel. Very well planned to perhaps conduct, something like a coup in Iran. So there were hundreds of, elements armed who came to the streets all of a sudden in most of the Iranian cities, with a similar, way of acting, and they acted like, Daesh terrorist groups. They beheaded some of police officers. They burned some of them alive, and then they started shooting at people, in a blindly manner. And then it was very strange for us that they are killing even the protesters. Why? Because President Trump had said that if there are killings, I will come to rescue. So the purpose was to increase the number of deaths so they can drag the United States into this question. So we have, their voices, the instructions coming from outside through, these social networks or so, that shoot at police forces. If you don't find them, shoot at ordinary people. If not, shoot at the boys and girls in front of you who are doing protests. So the only reason, the only purpose was to increase the number of deaths. 8th, 9th, and 10th January, we faced with this phenomenon, and we had no way but to crash them. 3,100 and something have been killed. 2,500 of them have been listed by us as martyrs. Those who were killed by these terrorist groups, and we have indication, we have proofs, we have,
Is that the kind of penetration Israel has within
Iran?
Yes,
it was kind of penetration. And there was terrorist elements. You have seen those, stories even in India, when terrorist groups penetrated, killed ordinary people, or they did something wrong, and then your police forces had no way but, or your security forces had no way but to crash them or to confront them. That is exactly what happened in Iran. So we have 10 days of peaceful demonstrations, and then 3 days of terrorist operation. And for us, these 3 days are the continuation of those 12 days in last June. So that was the continuation of war imposed by Israel on us.